very good. Okay, very good.
Good morning and welcome to another episode of Hard Factor presented by the Barstool News Network. It is Thursday, September 17th, 2020. I'm Will. We got Wes and the Beeve in the house today. Mark is off. I hear we may get another stimulus check, guys. That's alleged, according to Pelosi and Trump, but no, not official yet. Also,
still
Trump
looking for my first one, Will.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, that's right. Wait, what?
Yeah, taxes,
Oh, yeah, you got to pay those.
Got to pay them.
Pay to play.
So.
Also, Trump says he's not as into the TikTok deal as people have reported. So watch out, wiggle dickers. But we're not counting our chickens on those stories before they hatch. Any other housekeeping items before we get going, boys?
No, I don't think so. I can't think of anything.
Okay. No. Cool. Yeah, we got 4 big stories on the pod today. 4 more on Barstool Radio, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern on Power 85 Sirius XM. Wes, get us going.
All right, guys, let's check in on the campaign trail, specifically the Biden-Harris campaign trail. With just 46 days left until the presidential election on November 3rd, Joe Biden is pulling out all the stops to get votes. Nothing wrong with that. It's a politician's fucking main goal to get votes during an election. And it is being reported that Biden is not faring as well as he would have hoped with Latino voters, especially Cuban voters in Florida, a key state that Biden needs to take from Trump in order to win the election. Trump won Florida by just over 1% in 2016. And if you look at recent polls in the state, they are virtually tied, with Biden having a slight lead if you combine all the polls available. But what Biden did at an event in Florida has social media all stirred up. You see,
Wes, before you say what he did, I think that Bernie also crushed Biden in terms of Latino support. So I think it's something he's always struggled with.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, this is the main focus for him right now is specifically Florida. And this is where kind of it all went wrong for him yesterday, at least according to some people. You see, Biden was speaking at an event in Florida on Tuesday to kick off Hispanic Heritage Month, which goes from September 15th to October 15th. And after he was introduced by Louis Fonsi, am I saying that right, Pat? Louis Fonsi?
What do you want from
He's
me?
a musician.
I don't know. You're the music guy. I figured you might know.
Louis, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a Latin music.
Anyway,
he's a Florida man and also a musician.
Right. He wrote the famous Despacito.
Oh, he must be rich, bro. That guy must be so rich.
Oh, God. Yeah, absolutely. So when Biden took the stage after he was introduced by Mr. Despacito himself, he pulled out his phone, said, "I just have one thing to say," and started playing Despacito on his phone.
And it wasn't even like the hit version.
No,
it was like the original, like, instrumental. It was weird. It was like, what remind me of is when you first teach your dad how to play music on his phone.
Yep.
It's like, hey, Dad, this is how you play a song on your phone. At least for people our age, we had to do this, right?
Right.
And then it's like, oh, cool, check this out. And then they do it like over and over again, to the point where you're like, hey, stop, it's not cool to just play it in public like that.
It reminded me of, like, have you guys ever, back when you used to buy songs, you'd go to, like, buy a song, and, like, one single's $1.99, the other one's 99 cents. You go with the cheaper one, it turns out to be, like, the karaoke version of it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it sounded like. It was like the karaoke version of Despacito.
Yeah, it wasn't the good version, yeah.
Yeah. Like if he had, like, those, like glasses on, he would have lowered the glasses to his nose, looked down at the phone, tried to figure it out.
He's like fumbling a book in the other hand.
Hang on. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, he started playing the song and he starts, like, doing the most, like, just stereotypical old white man dance that you could possibly.
The Yankee Candle on the podium.
Yeah, exactly. And he played it for 10 seconds at most. Then he said, quote, I'll tell you what, if I had the talent, any of these people, I'd be elected president by acclamation. Mark pointed out last night through a text, and we tweeted it, that the lyrics of Despacito might not have been a great choice. The lyrics are: slowly, I want to breathe your neck slowly. Let me tell you things in your ears so that you remember when you're not with me. Slowly, I want to strip you off with kisses. Slowly, sign the walls of your labyrinth and make your whole body a manuscript. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up.
So kind of perfect, actually.
Perfect.
Kind of
Very on brand for Biden. Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely. So,
it was a real hot sauce in my bag swag situation.
oh yeah, I'm gonna get to that for sure. I've got the clip actually. So this moment caused social media to have an uproar about pandering and how Biden's move was cringeworthy and all that. I mean, news networks had every Latino guest they could get on to either say that it was fine or say it was cringeworthy, depending on which network you were on. People compared it to when Hillary was being interviewed by the Breakfast Club. Here is that clip. Let's just listen to that real quick.
I love this one.
No more questions? He said, no, she has to go.
What's something that you always carry with you?
Hot sauce.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you getting information right now?
Hot sauce.
Hot sauce in my bag, swag?
Hot sauce.
Really?
Yes.
Now, listen, I
yes.
just want you to know, people are going to see this and say, okay, she's pandering to black people.
Okay. Is it working?
Hillary can't even try to pretend to be genuine in that one.
No, at least
she
she
just actually
admitted-
asked if it's working on air.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I guess that you gotta give her points for that, honestly. When you
Yeah.
yeah, but she puts hot sauce on her vanilla ice cream. But who didn't pander? I feel like Obama didn't pander necessarily. Clinton did the sax thing.
Of course he did.
Everyone.
All politicians.
Everyone
All-
pandered.
every
Of course,
single
everyone
100%.
panders, but there's the egregious ones. Like I'm like
Right.
All of them are. If you're an American politician and you made it to the presidency, to the Oval Office in the last 30 years, you did some egregious pandering.
yeah. I don't. Did George Bush? Because he pretty much just had to he already had all the oil guys in his pocket. Like, did he try?
No,
I mean,
no, I
he
don't-
knew a little Spanish, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
All those
he
made
was
up
a little
words
Spanish.
he would go with. I mean,
Yeah,
come on.
that was
They're-
pandering. Yeah.
Look, there's
Yeah.
everybody has to do it at certain points, but I
Right.
agree. I mean, certain people do it more. I think we're in the age of the ultimate pander. I mean, right now is everybody will pander straight to your face and expect you not to even guess that you're pandering to them.
That's a good point. Well, I think that's
pervasive it is
because
now
how media has become really niche. You know what I mean? Like we're back in the day, they were
it's
just
all
like,
pandering. Yeah, the
Yeah,
media
well,
is
you
basically a
can
pandering
speak-
machine.
Yeah, you can speak directly though to one group of people, and it's always cringeworthy when they're on that
Right. It's
yeah.
it's like how you can follow different accounts on Twitter, and it's that bubble. It's that bubble's
Trying to hit
news
that
outlet.
bubble.
So it's cringeworthy to anybody who's outside that bubble because it's pandering to that bubble. And there's 15 of those that
Right.
represent the spectrum of politics.
Yeah, I mean, and plus, these two guys, Trump and Biden, are both so old that when they try to be cool, it's just automatic pandering. Sometimes, it's like in this example. So there's actually a site, just to keep on the Hillary thing because I thought it was hilarious. There's a site called whyhillarylost.us, and there's a tab dedicated to that soundbite amongst a ton of other things. So. I want to be fair, and say that all politicians do this shit. Like we just said, look at what Trump did with the Bible holding in front of St. John's.
The Bible build that wall. You think that's not a? I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Build that wall is a little bit more complicated of a pander. The Bible pander is directly
because
on
there
par
is
with
some
Esposito.
action behind it, right?
Yeah, it's just a straightforward. My favorite was when Trump was "It's a Bible." We're like, "What is it?" He needed to tell us that it was a Bible.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say even the spectacle of gassing the people out of the square beforehand is a pander.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know, I mean,
running over with horses.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's panderings of all types and different audiences that they're going for, and
Yep.
both party is guilty of doing it.
Clearing people from the square is just billionaire shit. I think that's just when you're a billionaire, you can just I'm walking here, get out of the way.
Well, it's just like Ted
wanted
Wheeler.
to-
Ted Wheeler's the mayor of Portland. He's siding with the protesters. They're trying to burn down his house. That's a pander. I mean, you really okay with people trying to burn down your house, Ted? No, you're
Yeah,
pandering.
it's even more messed up because it's like a condominium complex. Not cool.
Right. Yeah. All your
Yeah.
neighbors, all your
Yeah,
thousands. of
Ted, you
neighbors.
gotta go. Imagine the letter from the homeowners association.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a politician's job, pandering in some senses.
Right, exactly. And you guys are kind of hitting on the conversation I wanted to have. Like Trump saying build a wall is, obviously something he knew his base wanted. It's pandering in a sense, but it's not the cringeworthy stuff. Like the Bible holding to me was cringeworthy, just like this Biden stuff. So there's also stuff about Kamala wearing Converse and Timberlands to pander to Generation X voters.
I
So
think she just rocks Converse though. That's I feel
I mean, maybe.
I get mad when people bring Converse into politics, just because it's like it's just an all around great shoe. It's
I
a
think that's just a
classic.
function of her being decades younger than everybody else involved in the race too.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I mean, you can at some point when politicians are running, everything can become a pander, and I mean, unless Biden had like years of tape where he's just dancing to Latin music
Despacito guy,
somewhere.
yeah.
there's years of tape of him being a complete dunce. That's for sure. I mean, like that. There is definitely. He's run for president 3 other times unsuccessfully.
Right.
And I mean, he's been a senator from a small state for like 6 decades. I mean, there's lots of tape out there. Yeah.
Did you guys have Tim's? Did you guys have a pair of Tim's?
I did. I had numerous pairs
For the
of
winter
Timbs.
time,
Big time.
which I mean, you gotta have a set of boots.
I used
I had
to
'em
rock
for
it with
this-
my Woo wear.
Summertime, wintertime, all the time.
Did you have different looks for different outfits?
I
Yeah.
had black Tims. I had the tan Tims. I had like shoe Tims for like when I
Whoa.
wanted to like dress up with jeans a little bit.
Wow, that's fancy. I only had the one pair, the classic, and I stained them, and I don't think I wore them that much after that.
Wes, I don't know if this is true or not. I might know this, but I might be imagining it. Were you an NYC guy? ENYCEE?
No,
that
I
brand?
wasn't. No.
That was
I wasn't.
brands.
I was not. I was a Tommy Hilfiger, Nautica, Polo guy.
I was a Tommy boy.
Outlet
big
Mall
time.
King.
Oh yeah,
I
had
remember
my
we had-
Guess jeans, like one strap undone, Guess overalls.
Oh, big time. No, you weren't that guy, really?
Yes. Oh yeah, it was.
I remember we had the foreign exchange student coming from England in the 8th grade. Remember that, Will? And I borrowed him for the day because he was staying with a friend of ours who was a lady, and he wanted to get some dude time. And I was like, I remember we were going out to the movies. I was like, you can't wear that, bro. And I lent him one of my Tommies, a Tommy terra cloth shirt.
A
to swag
Hilfiger?
him out. Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah.
I used
That's
to come
big time
home
back in the day.
Must.
from the mall, and my dad would just like hold his head in shame and looking at the things that my mom bought me at the mall and how much they cost, like in Tommy and Nautica and all that shit that I had to have to be cool.
Oh yeah, I mean now, as an adult, it seems silly.
Yeah. But anyway, my real question to you guys is like, so there obviously there's these handlers behind these guys, right? There's people that are telling them that these moves are good. The question is like, do you think that like in certain demographics, like this pandering works sometimes? Like I feel like in this election, both sides are kind of like, you're either here or you're there. The pandering doesn't like, are there people that are going to be like, fuck Joe Biden for that Despacito shit, and now I'm not voting for him? Are there people that are going to be like, oh yeah, he's into Despacito,
Well,
now
I mean,
I'm voting for him?
I don't know. Gaffes can definitely turn people off. You look at like,
Right.
but I don't know. Now that we're in the general election,
Yes.
it's kind of hard. I feel like a lot of people have already made up their minds.
Agree.
There might be people who are sitting there like wondering, like, I don't know, if you're on the cusp of voting for somebody or not. That might sort of turn you off. But
Yeah, it's
I think-
cumulative. It's not one thing. I to that point, Wes, I think that like the perfect example is Bill Clinton playing the sax on Arsenio Hall was a pander, right, to the African American community, but it worked. So like when a pander works, you don't really call it a pander. When it fails, you're like,
Was it a
"That
pander? He was just demonstrating his skill.
But see, that's skills, right? I
Yeah.
think if this is Joe Biden literally just turning on a song, that's like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pander. It would just, playing the
I think
sax.
most people-
You got to have some
Yeah.
skills for that.
That's
Yeah.
true. Most people just chalk it up to them being old. I think that's just you're just
Right.
like, yeah.
Yeah, well, the Cuban voters in Florida are generally, from what I read, more Republican. So I think this is going to hurt him with those voters, like being like, look at this fucking asshole.
Certainly for people who lean right already or
Yeah.
who are like moderate
Yeah.
to right, this is going to totally.
I mean,
turn
we
them.
know that everyone knows that they're politicians, so they're assholes. So I don't
Right.
think this is changing anything.
Right.
It's not winning, but I don't think it's hurting.
Yeah. Well,
Now ask Howard Dean how
But that was weird.
how
bro.
one
That was
fateful
different.
scream
That was different.
totally changed his life.
A
yeah,
little bit different.
it's fun to
Well,
watch.
I don't know. This was pretty cringe. It was. You kind of gave yourself a Dean like
Yeah.
when you saw it. Like you're like, man, why
It
do you
was
think that's a good idea? It just
it
was
was-
a bad idea.
It was cringe. Where it makes you think that he just doesn't know what the fuck he's doing even more. In my life,
Right? Yeah. He clearly thought that was going to play, and it's just
Right.
like, dude, how could you be that out of touch? Like that was
Yeah.
going to be like a good
Right.
move.
Yep.
And it's just like, I don't know.
Yep.
Well,
All right. What else we got?
he's 78, so expect more of that probably. Let's
Mhm.
take it over to Portlandia. three crazy tales from the Pacific Northwest. And it's very fucking strange to me that Portland, like with a city that's supposed to be like the chillest place in the country, has spent all of 2020 rioting nonstop, is experiencing now insane crime sprees in the midst of the wildfires. And then on top of that, tossing some good old fashioned ill will toward your fellow man. On top of that, that actually happened in Seattle. We'll get into it. It's a
Remember when
complete
we used to
mess.
call you that?
Ill will? Yeah.
Ill will.
Well, it's a classic for anybody named Will, or or just
Especially when you were getting ill.
yeah, exactly. But we're unfortunately here we're talking about the bad kind of ill will, not the good kind. First
Not the
up,
kind that brings a sixer and a gram of marijuana and says, "Hey, buddy, I know you're having a bad day. Let's party." They're not that ill will.
no, not that one. Yeah, I think like gravity bongs and hurricanes 40s was probably what I was into at the time of going by ill will.
Not the ill will that's like, yeah, the football team lost and everyone's silking, but I'm gonna go hang with my non-football friends anyway because it's Friday.
And still party. Yeah,
that was an ill will. I loved
that's,
that will.
That's right. Well, maybe I'll bring ill will back one day. But this ill will again that we're about to talk about, not good. First up in this trio of horrible stories. One of those things we didn't get to talk about specifically yesterday with Dave when he came on the pod, thanks Dave, was 45-year-old Domingo Lopez Jr., who was arrested for starting a brush fire with a Molotov cocktail on Sunday night in Portland, was released later that night because I guess that's a misdemeanor or whatever, only to try and start 6 more wildfires Monday night, the following night, with 2 more of his fire starter buddies. They were all caught Monday night. And then Domingo was taken to a mental hospital for evaluation. But who are we kidding? Probably released again later. And
How old is this guy? Did you say
45? And you can see a picture of him there. He's very aged, and those are his Molotov cocktails he was using to try to start fires.
You gotta have a detention period, like a mandatory detention period if you bust someone over the age of 14 with a Molotov cocktail.
No, I mean, I think we were talking about this in the text chain earlier. I think that like anyone that starts fires that lead to these wildfires, life in prison. Like you're killing people, you're destroying billions of dollars worth of homes. Like I see it as worse than just going up and shooting someone in the face with a fucking gun. Honestly,
it's horrible. It's horrible, but so many people do this. There's no way they could punish it that harshly.
I'm curious if those guys, the arsonists that have like the addiction to it. I wonder if it's those guys or if it's guys that are just like want to just destroy.
Dude, it definitely seems like people who are drugged up when they're doing this shit. Like, I mean, like that. We'll get to another one next up, actually. Oregon woman Kat Cast had to question a man at gunpoint who she found snooping around her wildfire-threatened neighborhood. So kind of a neighborhood like Dave's. We were talking to him yesterday. A lot of people left town. There's a lot of shady shit going on when people left town. And she found this guy just snooping around their neighborhood with nothing but a pack of matches. So he's just had nothing but matches on him. She asked him, what is he doing? He said he's just passing through and that he's a smoker, and that's why he has matches, but he had nothing to smoke, just matches.
That sounds like a bullshit story to me. Because if you're going to go out starting fires, you're not going with you're not rolling with matches. That's the weakest ever.
Oh, no, I mean, there's videos of guys
you're
with
a
lighters
child.
and matches trying to literally just start brush fires.
Do we know if it was like a match light, like a grill match? Was it like the big ones? Because if it was like a hotel pack of matches, then
if it was the wooden ones, I'm thinking that he's fully capable.
I'm thinking this lady rolled up on this dude with a gun and found what she wanted to find, which is like the guy was at a hotel and had a pack of matches.
The guy was a vagrant who had a pack of matches stumbling around her neighborhood.
And matches, you can light the whole thing and they go up big. So if you want to start a fire, lighting a whole pack of matches is going to get the job done pretty
quick. You only
quick.
have one shot, then you're blowing your load there. It better work. Like you can't wind in that situation.
Also, the evidence is then gone.
He was also guilty enough for her to hold him there until the cops arrived, who did end up arresting him. So something fishy must have been happening. Not good. And that's in the face of the wildfires. Now just take it back to a weird story that's just general humanity being odd up there. And this is the final one of this trio. Cafe Vita, V-I-T-A, a Portland restaurant with locations in Seattle, is under fire for firing staff at the Seattle Capitol Hill location for giving stale pastries and coffee to the homeless. Cafe Vita general manager Isaiah Washington blamed the massive amount of homeless people near the restaurants on handouts from the staff And since that time where he blamed the employees for the homeless, 11 of the employees have been fired or left the company over the stale food situation of not being allowed to hand out stale food to the homeless. So
Yeah, this is a weird thing that restaurants have for some reason. That like, if you've ever worked in a restaurant, like you want to like, there's it's like some kind of weird health code violation that you're not allowed to give out the leftovers. Like
no, but they're literally
caterers can't do it too. It's weird.
This is what they're mad about. Them putting the stale drip coffee and the stale pastries next to the dumpster instead of in the dumpster.
Yeah, I mean, this is a law, right, for like some health code reason, but it's
Yeah.
so stupid. And if
It's
you're the asshole that's going to call it in, like, fuck you, bro. Like, that's bureaucracy at its best. When you can't fucking give extra food to homeless people, like, what is that trash?
Well, yeah, in this case, it's a business there, so it's not even a government; it's just a business. He's trying to claim that they're ruining the business by having some goodwill towards their common man, which is just I don't know. It's a weird
I hope
situation.
he chokes on a bagel.
Yeah. Anyways, meanwhile, the area is still completely engulfed in smoke. Riots are continuing. Doxing of rioters and then other demonstrators then lead to the continuous cycle of more protesting and then doxing each other and fucking getting upset with each other, counter protesting, harassment online. And really, I just hope that basically the people of Portland and Seattle could just take the fall and winter off. You know, maybe take a little break from destroying your own community for a little while. Much like Mark was saying for Iran yesterday, you know, I'm hoping for a little peace, a little chill to go up there to the Pacific Northwest. You know, just maybe have a good day here or there. Best of luck on that. So.
Yeah, if you want a good, buddy Dave that was on yesterday sent me a bunch of like crazy photos of the fires and the smoke and crazy stuff. But if you want to go down like a good like conspiracy theory rabbit hole, look into like the Oregon fires and people like, you know, trying to catch people setting them and like I'm not going to get into it, but it's out there if you like those kind of like, you know, conspiracy theory videos about what's actually happening, like chainsaw marks on power lines, shit like that. It's crazy.
Well, there's lots of videos of fuckery going around for sure. And like we've been saying, I mean, every year there is a lot of arson that leads to the fires.
Yeah.
No doubt.
And also dumbass fire safety, like people who don't put their fires out properly or do fucking job, like idiots.
Yeah, all kinds of very complex situation. But yeah, I mean, in general, I really like the Pacific Northwest. It's got to be tough right now. Portland and Seattle, not the year. You know, everybody's having a rough 2020, but it seems like it's extra rough up there.
Wes, do you believe some of that stuff? I feel like for the most part, there's just such a small grouping of the population that do that shit that it's overblown.
Yes, I believe some of it. I don't believe that it's like the main cause or whatever, but I do believe it happens.
I know the largest fire area wise in northern Nevada since I moved here was set by a man.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's neither here nor there, but since I moved out here, the biggest one was set by a dude.
Well, fuck that guy. We need to bring Smokey back. We need to dress Smokey up. We need to get like ripped bears out there to really protect us from this shit. Guys, let's talk about our sponsor real quick, paintyourlife.com. If you want a truly meaningful gift, you got to try paintyourlife.com. Here's what it is. It's a professional, hand-painted portrait painting created from any photo. So you send them a photo, they paint that shit. It's awesome, and it's truly affordable. Like, it's not super expensive. Having a painting in your house means class. It means that you know what you're doing. It means you made a couple right decisions. And I'll be dead honest with you. I've gotten a quote from like an artist who's just a freelancer to paint me, and it was really expensive, preventatively expensive.
Yeah.
Now it's like a hack for the rich people. All the rich people have this shit. Now you can get it too. Seem rich, fuck them. Paintyourlife.com. You choose from a team of world-class artists, work with them on every detail until it's perfect. So like you can essentially get what you want, and it's also a money-back guarantee. So if you hate it, you won't, because you'll get it perfect. But if you hate it, it's free. So try it out. It's quick and easy. You can get it in just 3 weeks, which seems like a long time, but it's not when it comes to a painting. Get it for your grandma. Get it for your spouse. Get you and your pet for your next Christmas
and
party.
I hear you may have a little teaser for ours soon, right?
Yeah, baby, tonight. So
something?
tomorrow you can check out what our Paint Your Life's going to be on the IG. So that'll be exciting. She sent a picture in, and it's on. Makes a perfect birthday, anniversary, or wedding gift. And right now, y'all, we're going to get 20% off this with our code. You in? You want 20% off your Paint Your Life? All you got to do is text 64,000. That's 64,000. Use promo code FACTOR. Text factor to 64,000. You get that 20% off. Go to paintyourlife.com. Get your painting. You're going to love it.
I forgot to do predict it. I'm going to just get it over with now.
Get it over with, Wes.
Predictit.org. Okay, we're talking about Florida earlier. Let's jump right back in. It's even, like I said. So Florida is a double up no matter what. Biden, you get a little bit more bang for your buck with Trump. He's at like 50 cents. Biden's at like 53 cents. But predictit.org/promo/hard factor20. You can put $850 on Trump. Guess what? You're going to get about $850 back. If you deposit $20
and pretty much the same for Biden too.
And pretty much the same for Biden, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's still a relative coin.
It's a high likelihood, not a lock. No such thing as a lock, but high likelihood.
Yeah. Will his gaffe, lose him those, Latino voters? Who knows?
He's
but
at
you
58. Yeah, if Trump you have like 800 back on Biden.
Biden was 53 when I looked at him last, like about an hour ago. Maybe he jumped up. Maybe the Despacito worked. Anyway, you got to deposit $20 in your account to get $20 on us. But we've been hammering this, and we actually do this. We're not just saying this shit because they're paying us to, which they are. But we actually participate, and it is a lot of fun, especially debates when we get those mention markets and the fun markets, instant wins.
It is fun. Get your
It's so much
account
fun.
going before the debates start, like Wes just said. So the first debate is
November, the 29th.
no, the
29th of
29th
September.
So two Tuesdays, not next Tuesday, the Tuesday after that, is the first debate, and you want to have your predicted account set up before that, because there will be a flood of new markets, and then the debate nights are just so electric. Like,
Yes.
so many different prop bets and stuff. It's very fun.
I just bought 100 shares of Will Biden drop out before 11-1. Just bought 100 shares of no. So
Right, yeah, that's a great one. There's a lot of locks to be had right now. I picked out a couple. Pat, that was one of the ones I was seeing yesterday as a lock. A few 85 to 88 cents rangers out there that are absolute 100% locks, and
Yeah.
that means you put $100 down, you get 15 back, basically.
you're not as much
Yeah.
cash to make on those, but still easy money. 10, 15 cents a share. It's pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
You just bump it up, 15% of your money, and it's a lock. So
Right. Yeah. So predictit.org/promo/hard factor 20. Yeah, that's it. Let's keep rolling.
All right, guys. Michael Caputo, the top spokesman at the Department of Health and Human Services, went on what's being called a conspiracy theory-laden rant on Sunday via Facebook Live, and is now, quote, decided to take a leave of absence to focus on his health and the well-being of his family, according to a statement from the HHS. Did you guys see this?
no,
No,
I
didn't.
I didn't see it, but how many people have gotten in trouble from Facebook Live?
A lot.
A lot of crimes start on, or not crimes, but just fucking yourself up happens on Facebook Live a lot.
Mhm.
Dude, this Facebook Live was weird as fuck. And he knew that he was like fucking up and should not have been doing it whatsoever. And he was a little bit unhinged. And I'll get into exactly
Think he was
what
drunk?
said.
Hmm.
He wasn't drunk. I think that he's been put in a really weird position and might be having some mental health issues. But during the Facebook Live, some dude, I mean, I guess he's well known. I don't know how well known he could be because he's like out in front of his house, but some dude drives by him and is like, "Fuck you."
He's the director of HHS.
I mean, he's the comms guy. He's the top comms guy.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Anyway, guys, during the video, he said that the government is sacrificing lives in order to defeat Donald Trump, and he accused the government of sedition, which is conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or a monarch. He also said things like, "My mental health is definitely failing," and the deep state scientists want America sick through November. It kind of keeps going on and on and on. He also said to buy ammunition and that they are coming. I don't know who they is, but be ready.
The deep state. Well, this guy's a big time deep state globalist guy. it looks like.
QAnon guy. He's
Yeah.
just having a breakdown.
He's having a hard time. So why? The big question is why, guys. So we saw Trump came out in the Woodward book essentially saying he was downplaying coronavirus. That was his strategy. Okay. And that's been challenging for this guy in particular, who was appointed to the HHS in April to essentially support Trump's downplaying of the COVID, which put him in a really precarious situation.
Why is he doing Facebook Lives? Now seems like the time for this guy to lay low. Just don't say anything.
Exactly. He started drinking the Kool-Aid, I think, and then is having a hard time. He was like, the shadows on my bedroom ceiling get very long at my apartment in Washington. He said, yeah. So essentially, he's been tasked with like supporting Trump's lies or downplaying, and that he's in a tug of war between the CDC scientists who are like, "Why are you fucking with my shit?" And he's just, he's having a bad time right now.
Well, why can't he just sort of like wait for Trump to say something and then just parrot that? Because I watched yesterday's press conference where Trump was fielding questions about that Woodward stuff, and Trump basically is saying like, at the time, that's what I thought, and then now I think differently. So, like, how come this guy can't just not do a Facebook Live that incriminates himself and instead just wait for Trump to say that and then just say the same thing?
I don't know. He's a good soldier. Maybe he's gotten deep stateified. Who knows?
I think it's just the craziness, like you said. I
Could
think
be,
he's
right.
having some troubles.
Yeah. So this comes on the heel of Trump appointees in the HHS, including Caputo, who, by the way, has no medical experience. That's what the CDC's been pissed about. Demanding to review and change the weekly scientific reports from the CDC related to COVID. And there were like a ton of emails that went out with the HHS people attacking the CDC people, saying they're undermining Trump. They're undermining Trump's optimistic comments. So yeah, that's more or less what's going on. You guys remember Trump put federal pressure on hospitals to report directly to the HHS and circumvent the CDC back, I think it was 4 weeks ago. And there's a big scandal coming down, I think, because, essentially the CDC are saying that the HHS is fucking with their data. Yeah, calling that guy Redfield, they're calling him a bitch and, like, yeah, going at him. So there's that.
Who's that,
guys,
HHS?
Yeah, well, Redfield, yeah, exactly. HHS is coming hard. All right, on to the next one, guys. There's going to be lots of confused bros in the coming months who check the tag on their Patagonia shorts to make sure that they're still a medium. Because when they do, they're going to see a message on the tag that says "Vote the assholes out." Did you guys see this?
A little bit disappointing. I love
Patagonia?
I like Patagonia stuff.
So they said vote the assholes out?
Right. And not to worry though, got Patagonia bros and Wes. According to the brand's founder, the phrase is more of a choose your own assholes adventure.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Any specific politician.
No, there's a specific
Wes, you think they're
politician
talking specifically about Trump there,
huh? Yeah, 100%.
Well, there's a plural, multiple assholes.
But they could always be talking about Pelosi, though. Think about it that way.
They're definitely talking about Pelosi in some respects. Well, specifically, so Yvon Chouinard, the founder of Patagonia, clarified, and he said the phrase "vote the assholes out" has been used for years within the Patagonia company, and it refers to, quote, politicians from any party who deny or disregard the climate crisis and ignore science, not because they aren't aware of it, but because their pockets are lined with money from oil and gas interests.
Yeah, just as I thought. So, yeah, that's
they're an environmental company.
Trump's the big, everyone's like the anti, global warming
Well,
guy.
I think both parties are actually,
There's lots more than it's not just Republicans. It's
not just Trump.
You guys seriously are going to say you don't think that was aimed at Trump? Like,
well, I think
partly,
mostly for
anyone who denies climate change so they can get paid.
If you draw a line, that's all right.
Mostly. Well, also, I mean, I guess it's also at Obama and people like that who, like, championed making, the USA a bigger gas driller. So, like, anybody who has done that. So,
yeah. So
as long as a vague statement, then.
Well, as long as it's every politician, bro. The biggest problem in our government is fucking lobbying. It's like that's the biggest issue. So, but for the bros, as long as the politician you deem to be an asshole believes in climate crisis science and is opposed to compromising environmental interests by taking oil and gas lobby money, you can still happily attend class at your high-end public university in your gonias. Otherwise, you might be a North Face guy from now on if you're not into that. But
what are you guys? You guys have an outdoor?
Oh, I haven't owned a Patagonia.
It's expensive.
I have one North Face shirt, but I bought it at a discount shop, so I don't know if that counts.
Yeah, I got a great Patagonia jacket at Costco one time.
I bet you did. I love North Face as a brand. I think they do good shit. But like in college, everyone had they bastardized the brand is what happened because everyone had it, and you're like, I don't want to rock that shit if everyone has it. But I did have great North.
But it was like a peer pressure thing. It's like the uniform. Every college, I feel like at all times there's a uniform in college, like mostly set by the Greeks,
Exactly.
And then it phases out from there. And then like every year the uniform is just like slightly updated.
And I noticed that on the UT's campus, it's lazy. It's like all these kids are in sweatpants and fucking
That's the new
long sleeve
uniform.
tees and just they just look like slobs. Like, come on.
Well, I prefer that to what it was when we were there, which was like New Balances and North Face.
Right. Yeah, that was bad. And that's going to do it for Hard Factor, guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. Hey, we're moving 5-star reviews and voicemails to Friday. So go ahead and give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. The deal is you leave it, we'll read it verbatim, as long as it's 5 stars. The voicemail number is 512-270-1480, I believe. Wes, is that correct?
That is correct.
Oh, hell yeah. Shirts are in the store. Ladies shirts. Have a good fucking day, ladies shirts. HAGFD. Get in there. Grab you one of those. I think we're going to get hats up for sale this week, I hope. Is that maybe next week, early next week?
Yeah, we'll work on it this week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Fatathon, guys. So we'll go deeper. We got a little bit thrown off this week because Large and his weigh and trash. But next Wednesday, on next Wednesday's show, we'll update you on our weight loss progress. And if you want to, we're losing pounds for charity. So the deal is all the Hard Factor guys plus Large are throwing in $250. And then whatever the listeners of the Hardo Hive want to contribute, whomever wins gets the $250 per man pot to their charity, and then we will distribute the remaining Hardo Hive contributions to each individual's charity based upon loss. I'm supporting the Sims Foundation, mental health for musicians and artists. Wes, what do you got?
It's a Project Rubicon. It's to get veterans out in the community, to acclimate them back into society and help them with disaster relief like Hurricane Laura and stuff like that. So it's a dual kind of
veterans cause. So you got musicians, you got veterans, and I'm doing actual natural disaster relief. Wes, I saw you try to sneak that in there. But, it's really, that's a periphery of the organization you're supporting. I haven't picked the organization yet, but I'll tell you, it's going to go to the most effective disaster relief organization possible.
Yeah.
And I'll also say this, I'm working my ass off to win some of these dollars here. I know I'm in 3rd or 4th right now, but I'm going to try to make a comeback.
I see
you, marathon, Rowan. Not a sprint. And then,
thanks to Takes by Trev. He's one of the few people that have donated. Not even these guys have donated their money, but Takes by Trev hit up the donation today. So
no, I know. Look, I got to clear some things up at the bank and make sure that all of the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, and then I'm gonna get it in there. So don't worry, Wes. I see you monitoring us.
I see you too, Wes. Mark's, I believe, competing for a exploited children or child trafficking charity, and the one that prevents that. And Large is competing for the Willie Cologne Foundation. So it's a pinned tweet if you want to go. It's a fundly. Go kick the cash in. Let's give to a good cause and play along at home if you're fat and you don't want to be as fat.
Can I give directly to Lane Pittman's organization?
Just to Lane, yeah, that'd be cool. You could support Lane. I wonder if he's in the hurricane right now. Hurricane Sally. We're thinking about anyone in that path. That's tough.
Indeed, yes. Thoughts and prayers there. And stay safe. Don't be silly if you're flooding. Don't risk it.
Turn around. Don't drown. Also, have a great fucking day.